Thank you, Madam President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Home Affairs, Senator Watt. The Australian Federal Police confirmed in Senate estimates last night that 152 former detainees have now been released into the community. Minister, how many of them are currently wearing electronic monitoring devices?
Thank you, Senator Patterson. Minister Watt.
Thank you, President, and thank you, Senator Patterson. Well, I can only assume, Senator Patterson, that given you, I presume, were at Senate estimates with the AFP last night, that you would have asked them that question. And they are obviously in a much better position than any minister of the government to provide that level of detail. We have said that we have confidence.
Minister Watt, please resume your seat. Senator Patterson.
On a point of order of direct relevance, Madam President, the AFP said they couldn't answer that question, which is why I'm asking the responsible minister to answer that question.
Senator Patterson, I'm sure you're aware that's now gone into the area of debating. The minister is being directly relevant to your question. Minister Watt, please continue.
So we have consistently said that we have complete confidence in the Community Protection Board that was established by this government, comprised of former and serving police and other national security officials, to provide advice to government on how this particular cohort should be treated, to whom there should be bracelets attached and other conditions attached. And of course, it's also worth remembering that the reason this situation has arisen is because of a High Court decision that overturned many years of precedent.
Minister Watt, please resume your seat. Senator Patterson.
Thank you, Madam President. On direct relevance, it was a tightly worded question. There was no preamble. It is seeking a factual piece of information. Could you please draw the minister's attention back to the question?
I believe the minister is being relevant. I will remind him he should address the question and not what others may have done in government, but he is being relevant to the question. Minister Watt.
Thank you, President. I'm almost certain that the Minister for Immigration and the Minister for Home Affairs have also made public the government's intention to ensure that the Community Protection Board, via the Department of Home Affairs, will soon be issuing a community protection update containing the sorts of details that Senator Patterson is seeking. This government does support transparency and supports those figures being provided on a regular basis through an orderly process through the Community Protection Board that we have established. We've also made clear that at all times we'll be guided by the protection of Australian people and adherence to the law. We've seen that laughable situation where various Liberal and National Party members and senators have demanded that this government ignore the law and disobey rulings of the High Court. This government has no intention of doing so. We will adhere to the law and we will keep the Australian people updated through that community protection update.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Patterson, first supplementary.
Thank you, President. The Australian reported this morning that a convicted rapist released into the community following the NZYQ case has had his ankle bracelet removed after his lawyers challenged the legal basis of the restrictions imposed on him. How many other rapists are loose in the community without electronic monitoring?
Minister Watt.
Again, the decisions that the government has made on all of these matters have been informed by the advice of the Community Protection Board. The Community Protection Board comprises former and serving police and other security officials who this government has complete faith in. If Senator Patterson or any of the other interjecting senators want to criticise this government for the way that we've handled this, what they are actually doing is criticising people like former police commissioners who we are relying on for advice about all of these matters. If we want to have trumped-up senators who want to spend their time scaring the Australian community, if we want to rely on their advice rather than former police commissioners and people who actually take into account community safety issues each and every day, well, that's a matter for the opposition. But the government is prepared and willing to rely on that advice from high-quality personnel.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Patterson, second supplementary.
Thank you, President. The Minister for Immigration has repeatedly promised that the released detainees are being continuously monitored in the community. Given the government has allowed at least 36 former detainees and at least one rapist free in the community without electronic monitoring, how can that possibly be the case?
Thank you, Senator Patterson. Minister Watt.
Well, I know it's in the opposition's interest to whip up fear amongst the Australian community, because by whipping up fear,
Minister Watt, please resume your seat. Order. 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 Minister, please continue.
President, as I say, I know it's in the political interests of the opposition to whip up fear amongst the Australian community, because that distracts then attention from the fact that the opposition has absolutely no plan whatsoever for dealing with the cost of living pressures that Australians are in. It distracts attention from the fact that the now opposition of the leader and former Home Affairs Minister
Minister Watt,
presided
please resume
over—
your seat. I will sit the minister down for as long as the interjections continue. You are disorderly. There are other opportunities during the sitting of the Senate for you to make whatever contributions you like, but right now you are to listen in respectful silence. Minister Watt.
Thanks, President. So that does distract attention from the fact that the Leader of the Opposition, as the Home Affairs Minister, presided over a corrupt immigration system that has been described as such in a number of reports now, a completely broken system. The point about where these people are and the level of monitoring, I direct the opposition to the comments from the AFP Acting Deputy Commissioner Nichols, who said in Senate estimates, "I don't think there's any difficulty in knowing where they are." So again, we have the opposition criticising AFP personnel for political gain.
The time for answering has expired.